So you want to taste the rarest whiskey in the world? I have just the episode for you. Welcome back to the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host Lance, and today we are talking infinity bottles. And if you don't know what an infinity bottle is, this is the episode for you. In a world where people are looking for all the rarest, most allocated bourbons, the easiest way to get your hands on the rarest bourbon or whiskey in the world is to blend your own. So this is the perfect Whiskey Tornado show. We've got two infinity bottles today. One is one I've been working on since 2018, the beginning of 2018, so almost 2 years. Another is one of our followers sent us, Darren Lane. Thank you, Darren. I can't wait to try this. We're gonna try both of those today. And then what I thought would be fun is after I taste it, I'm gonna see what I think needs added based on my palate. Darren sent this to me. We haven't talked about it, but he may love it the way it is, and that's perfectly fine. But not everybody's palate's the same. Taste is subjective. So just because I suggest something doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. But infinity bottles are a very fun way to create your own one-of-a-kind blend. It's always fun when you have guests over to say, hey, you want to try a whiskey you can't get anywhere else? This is one I've been working on since 2018. A couple of tips for you on your infinity bottles. There's two ways you can do it. One, you can take a bottle and start with a base flavor that you really like, and then add to it and fill it up. And once it's filled up, then enjoy the entire bottle. The second way is to continually add to it and drink from it for however long you have the bottle. And that's what Darren and I have done. Darren worked on his since, I think he said he started his in 2017. So it's a really fun, interesting way. I love adding something, letting it sit for a couple weeks, letting the flavors marry, and then tasting it, and then deciding which bourbon I want to add to it to make it different, more complex, to finish longer, maybe a little sweeter, a number of different things. So let's go into, we'll taste my first bottle. A couple of tips on your infinity bottles. One thing I would not do is mix different kinds of whiskey. So if you're gonna make an infinity bottle with bourbon, stick to bourbons. I would definitely not add scotch, definitely not an Islay scotch. A little bit of peatiness is gonna completely wash out all the flavors. I don't think you're gonna have a lot of luck adding a Japanese whiskey or an Irish whiskey to a bourbon. I would stick with the same genre of whiskeys. I'm gonna also pour Darren's here. And the second tip I would give you guys is if you ever blend in a young whiskey, it's gonna take a lot to blend that out in my experience. You know what, let's start with Darren's first. The color on these, my blend is quite a bit darker. Not sure if you guys can see that, I don't have paper behind it. Mine's more of a copper, his is more of a honey color. So I'm guessing he's got some younger whiskeys in this. Right on the nose, it smells like very heavily influenced Buffalo Trace products in this. And he did message me some of the list. He didn't have the list he didn't have everything he's had in here since 2017, and I believe there were quite a bit of Buffalo Trace products in here. It smells wonderful. Caramel, vanilla, cinnamon, clove. Just your typical bourbon flavors. Doesn't smell really young or really old. Smells kind of middle of the line there. Sweetness smells nice. Smells nice on the nose. Get caramel right away. Finish is still going. I had a little bit of a hug there. I'm guessing this isn't low ABV, but it's not super high either. My guess is around 50%, somewhere around there. That finish is still going. The finish is good on this. I got a little bit of barrel bitterness right up front. So when we add another whiskey to this, we're gonna try to blend that out of that. Okay, one more sip. Good caramel and vanilla. that a little bit of bitterness there. And it's almost getting stuck right there in my chest. Now it's gone through. It's nice, it's good. I would like to blend something in there that takes that bitter ting off of it. I don't know how better to explain it. It's like right before the mid palate, I get this sweet sour note that I'm not crazy about. And sometimes I will get that in some Jim Beam products. I did taste a little bit of peanut, but not very much. So let's see. I think what I want to add to this, let me go for one more sip. I do taste a lot of oak too. I think I want to stay around the same ABV. I like the ABV in it. I want to add some complexity to it. So I think the best thing is going to be Kentucky Spirit Single Barrel. This is actually a store pick, so you guys are. But it's a beautiful whiskey, very complex, a lot of sweetness. We're going to add some of that. See if it changes it at all. And another tip for you guys, what I would do if you're adding to your infinity bottle is instead of just guessing and adding, I would pour a glass, add a little bit of whatever you think you might add to the infinity bottle, and then let it marry for about 10 minutes, come back to it and see if it got better or worse. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let that sit for a little bit and we're gonna move on to my bottle. My bottle ABV is higher, and like I said, mine looks a little bit older, it's darker, it's that copper, nice copper color to it. But I have put a lot higher ABV, older whiskeys in here. And it's just, whoa, it's so caramel. Apple, caramel, cinnamon. Let's go in for the taste. And even though it's a higher ABV, there goes the finish. It doesn't have that sweet and sour ping right before the mid palate for me. This feels a little bit more balanced to me, a little bit older. I would like to bring the ABV down a little bit. I'm typically not somebody who's super crazy about barrel proof bourbons, although Darren and I were at a barrel proof tasting a week or so ago, and E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof is maybe the best whiskey I've ever had. It was phenomenal, and blind, it was my #1 pick. It was really good. Let me go in for one more sip before I decide what I want to do with this. Yeah, I think I want to bring some of that alcohol, ethanol down, add some sweetness to it. It's really good right now though. I think what we'll do with that, let's go Old Forester Single Barrel. If you ever see store picks of this, pick them up. It is a wonderful value, super sweet. Now when I first opened this bottle, I wasn't crazy about it, but the more I've had it, the more I like it. So let's see what a little Old Forester does to it. I love Old Forester too. That Mary. All right, we're gonna go back to Darren's here, see if the not Wild Turkey, but Kentucky Spirit, I guess it is Wild Turkey. I think Kentucky Spirit's just Wild Turkey 101, but it's single barrel. That helped it. I think that helped it. Added a little bit of nuttiness to it, and already took off that sweet and sour note that I was getting. It's there a little bit, but I think the more that let the flavors marry, the better it'll be. Darren, I'm not sure if you have any Wild Turkey products, but if you do, Wild Turkey 101, Kentucky Spirit, even Rare Breed would be really good to add to that. That's going to bring up the ABV a little bit. Rare Breed might be the perfect one you want to add to that. But I think that made it more interesting and really good. Not that it was bad anyway. The only thing I wasn't crazy about was that sweet and sour note. All right, so I haven't had a lot of time to let this marry, but we're gonna taste it anyway. Yeah. Oh, that's good. What I'm gonna do is get a funnel and add a couple ounces of this Old Forester single barrel pick to it. Not only did it make it sweeter, but it also brought up a little bit of the oak flavor, but not bitter oak, not drying tannic oak. It was a nice sweet oak, which I love. And I don't think I tasted this before. It added a banana note to it, which Old Forester Brown Foreman products like Woodford and Old Forester, I get a banana note a lot of times, and it definitely added that to it. So, oh, that's good. Yeah, that's definitely going to be adding that. So, guys, if you've got a chance, start an infinity bottle. This particular bottle is one of my favorite bottles that I will never be able to get again. It's from the first crowdsourced distillery, Crowded Barrel. It's Eleanor 1860 Chapter 3, bottle 83. My sister picked it up from San Antonio for me because they don't send out their stuff. They don't have a distributor at the moment. If you're on YouTube, check out their channel. But this was one of my favorite bottles. It was bottled at cask strength, MGP sourced, but just full of caramel and apple. And I love the way this bottle looks, and I didn't want to get rid of the bottle, so this is my new infinity bottle. So find a bottle you love, be creative, have fun with it, and until next time, blend it, bitches.